Now the fun begins. We've got the Sunroamer in here because I am going to be pulling out the T-case, the automatic transmission, and we are going to a 5-speed that I picked up. Just got done driving back from Albuquerque area to my buddy Nicholas with Redline Ranch, who I reached out to see if he by chance had a 5-speed transmission that I could buy from him, and he made me a heck of a deal, so it was worth the 300-mile drive to go down there and back. Well, 300 there, 300 back. So yeah, so we're gonna let it cool, get the fluids drained, and start tearing into it. I'm gonna try to do as much of it that I can do as possible. That way Stash can keep working on his projects. I am just super thankful to be able to have a garage to work in. That is always so nice. Another thing which I want to tell you guys about, so Stash is new building here, Vision Builds, and he is working on some really cool projects you guys are going to have to check out. He is going to be, well, let me rephrase that. He has helped me out so much. He reached out to me and helped me with those bars, helped me with you know, doing the frame stiffening and stuff, and honestly he's asked for nothing in return. So you know, I've been filming and trying to help out in that respect, but talked to him and have decided to make him a sponsor for the channel, and so he is sponsoring the Sunroamer, doing the mechanics and, you know, upgrades, repairs. So we have that now here in Montrose at Vision Builds, and yeah, so you're going to start seeing his logo once he gets it. It is going to be on our channel on every episode as a way to say thank you for reaching out to me and saying, hey man, I want to help you out. So hopefully you guys, if you've got something you need built, you know somebody who's got something that needs built, if I trust the guy to work on my rig, you can trust the guy to work on your rig. And he really knows what he's doing. So feel confident about sending him here, sending somebody here, or coming here yourself to do you know, major upgrades, 4-wheel drive conversions, project vehicles, that kind of thing. Yeah, definitely. So thanks again, Stash. This is the coolest little tool for these combination things. You can put it in here like that, and you've got a tiny little screwdriver that you can lock. Just tighten and loosen, because I need a little screw right here, and there's no other way to get it. All right. Without trying to destroy these. This is just so much fun. Okay, let's pull these off now. Cord. There we go. Yay. Bingo. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right. We had to pull this because when we tilt the engine, this fan is so close that it will hit the radiator and mess up fins. So, watch out, Lil. Okay, perfect. Oh, not quite yet. Not ready for it yet. Okay. Ooh, boy, it's like. Oh, wait a minute. We got a cord? No. Okay. Oh. Good morning, guys. I am still at the shop with Stash, He went to go pick up another project, but I got the transmission dropped. I got most of the stuff prepped for the 5-speed, but we ran into a major issue. So this is the A340H. This is the automatic transmission that came out of there. This is the 5-speed, minus the bell housing. There's a reason the bell housing is off. We'll show you that. Here's the 5-speed bell housing as it sits in the vehicle. This is the slave cylinder for the clutch. This guy sits on the driver's side. Now, when you do a 3/4 conversion, what you put on there is one of these. This is a crossover pipe. Originally, the exhaust came out this side, but for whatever reason, when you do a 3/4 swap, they say you got to do a crossover pipe, which puts all this configuration on the driver's side. The same as the slave cylinder on the bell housing. They interfered with one another and they will not fit together. So what I have to do, this took me probably 2 hours to get off. It was the most difficult thing. This is your exhaust, so of course the heat and everything else, trying to get in and get these bolts in the middle of, let me show you where that was at. Right tucked up, way up in there against the firewall. Yeah, no room to do anything. But now what we've got to do, or what I had to do, I had to order on eBay an original one of these to put the exhaust on the passenger side. So now we've got to run my exhaust on the passenger side so that we can run the bell housing with the slave cylinder and all that on the driver's side. So a long couple days. The whole reason I'm doing this is my T-case. Now, this guy here is a Marlin Crawler adapter. This adapter is what allowed me to run the automatic transmission with this 1985 gear-driven T-case, which is what rock crawlers use. The problem is this adapter only works for the automatic and the second generation 5-speed, which is what I have. Most people who do this buy a new adapter and put in a first generation 5-speed, and then you don't have to do any of this other stuff. But that adapter is very pricey, and I didn't want to have to buy a whole new adapter. So yeah, and those transmissions are a lot easier to find too. But here we are, and this is what we're with now. So yeah, so appreciative to Stash with Vision Builds. He's got his new name all set, so that's cool, for letting me come in here and use his shop. More than likely, I'm gonna, once I get everything back together again, I'm gonna turn it over to him to do the exhaust, and we'll probably have to do a new motor mount. So when it comes to that, I'm gonna turn it over to him and let him do his magic on that. But I'm trying to do all the mechanical that I possibly can myself so as not to get in the way of his projects. That's where we're at. Oh, I'm tired. I even had to pull out my brake booster. That was just to get at a couple bolts. I mean, this is how tight everything is in here. It's like, just to get to these bolts that were right in here, I had to pull this whole brake booster out and do all that. I also we had to modify this and the brake booster because I have a completely upgraded and updated large brake booster. And unfortunately, that was interfering also with the clutch master cylinder. So we got that dialed also. It's coffee time. So we just got done taking Stash's original Sunroamer that he's working on, putting it back on the 4Runner. So that one's in the shop and is movable. And this is the new project that he just picked up, just the shell. of course, already had the 79, and now we're getting this one where it'll at least sit on here for a while, because this is a project down the road. And this might be like similar to mine, or even more wild. Probably more wild, knowing Stash. But yeah, very cool. I'm always repurposing things from old vehicles. I've had this in 3 different vehicles, and it's basically a lock cabinet that also allows my stereo to be in there. And these cup holders have never actually been used as cup holders because they are just way too small. So we're going to modify this. We're going to cut the whole front end of it off so I can still have this section of it, and we'll put something else on here with a more modern size cup holders to be able to use. But I'm doing some of this during some of my downtime on the working on the Sunroamer. Just little projects and stuff I've been putting off because there's parts and things that we have to wait for, and while we're doing that, might as well get some other stuff done that wasn't working. So this is the finished product I was talking about. Basically, I cut it off and then I put some putty type stuff in there, actually Dowsil 795, and now I've got a nice flat, still got my locking cabinet. That'll go back in there. It won't interfere with the T-case or any of that stuff. So yeah, we're getting it dialed. Cool. Just a plate. This has got to cover, well, I'll have to show you actually. Let's go see, shall we? Okay, so I've been having a little bit of a tough time with this guy when I put this in. So this is a disc that is for a brake, for an e-brake, because you can't have a regular e-brake. So this is called a T-case e-brake. And this has been hitting the bottom of my floor for the longest time when I first put it in, right here. So we are moving to a 5-speed, so it is going to move an inch further. So before it started here, now it's going to hit right about here. So what I'm doing is I'm making a box over here, and I'll weld that in, and that will be for that T-case e-brake to sit up inside so it doesn't bounce up into the thing anymore. And what happened is it's been bouncing into that, and that's been causing a real bad vibration, and it was loosening the bolts on my drive shaft. That happened to me once, if you guys remember. I filmed that. So yeah, anyway, we're getting things dialed in here. This is a 4Runner console thing, and the mounting points of this in the original vehicle are welded in, so it's not something that you can like take with you unless you were going to cut the tunnel cover out and do what I did with the automatic section, which is I took the whole tunnel cover out and I grafted that in. That worked out really well, but the truck that I got this transmission from, they needed to keep that. So I couldn't do that. So now my problem solving is I need to make brackets so that this thing will fit in there. So what I've done is I've just taken measurements and made a graph thing, got up underneath, made some points to screw those in. And then I also have to do a couple more holes here and here. And I got to do that on both sides, and then this thing will actually just mount right into the center console. So we'll show you kind of the finished product. So basically, this guy now becomes our center console piece, and then, you know, once I get some actual carpet will go up underneath there, and yeah, it'll be all pretty, and it'll also be the same color But yeah, that's our bracket system that we just created, that bracket and that bracket. Still here at Stash's, inside of course, and we just got done looking at the exhaust, and man, I'm glad Stash is here because it's taken some serious modification, and I'm inside trying to get you guys a video edited, but of course the guy's got to eat, so even though we're in the shop, I'm gonna grill up some chicken and do one of those kind of pasta side type things. Time for some grub before I get too involved in all the editing and totally forget to eat, which is kind of my thing. But yeah, it's really cool because we were able to get that exhaust kind of, at least we understand that it's going to work, and that has been the biggest obstacle, is us struggling for like the last 2 days. Stash took the weekend off. I kind of took the weekend off, did some other things on the rig. All weekend long has just been in my head, how are we going to make that work? Because it was really, really fighting us, you know, trying to put a square peg in a round hole. And it's a good thing we have tools that make that possible. Or at least turn them both into a triangle, you know, something like that. Keep an eye on that, Lily. So Stash, we're running into some real difficulty here. What is going on with this swap here?
Well, these frame rails are way too narrow for the stock crossover pipe that we tried to switch back to. This conversion is what we're going to have to use, but we're going to have to alter it drastically to get it done. This flange here comes in contact with the bell housing and the slave cylinder on the driver's side. What we're going to end up doing is cutting the flange off square here, cutting it off square here, reclocking this tube, and then pie cutting this one here to come out and bypass around the slave and in between the frame rails. And even so, it's going to be tight.
Right.
But I think that is our best option as of right now.
Okay.
It is just super tight, narrow frame rails. So I think it's our best bet to keep it stockish. We can re-weld this flange back on and tie into the existing exhaust that was there. And we're just gonna have to do a lot of modification to get there.
Gotcha.
She's in.
So right now we're getting the bell housing on. We've cut the original crossover pipe to see if we can tighten it up more basically. And Stash is getting the slave cylinder on there so we have a full package of what's going to be in the way and what needs to get done to be able to get the exhaust past it.
Yeah, we may have to modify a little bit, but I can get, they're both gonna go. I think if we pie cut the one,
Now she's going. This is our other piece, and this is gonna go down to here. It's almost bottomed out. It's really close. Other piece that needs to go in. Flush. All right, and then we put our new seal in there, and we're good to go. So while we're at it, we're putting a nice new seal in this front output that's leaking. So you'll get that dude in there. So this is a new Marlin Crawler Echo seal, which is a heavy duty seal, but it says you must remove the dust cover. And I'm trying to understand why that is. Well, hello. That doesn't fit. That does not fit the RF1A output. That doesn't even come close. That's good. Not so good. So was busy last night getting some of the 5-speed stuff all buttoned up, since we've got a decent little transmission jack. Got everything buttoned up here. Still have to go find a new seal. Unfortunately, Marlin Crawler sent me the wrong seal, even though I called. They gave me a transmission output seal instead of the T-case seal. So we have got to pull that, and I guess we're gonna have to go to Napa, see if we can get a match. Oh yeah, we got this guy done last night. Got the exhaust wrap, because that is gonna be, I'll show you, super close to the slave. Boy, the toughest thing on this 5-speed swap has honestly been the exhaust. Well, waiting for parts, but the exhaust has been the big one. So we finally got the exhaust in here. The crossover has custom made crossover. So what happened, there's a specific transmission that you're supposed to use when you do this swap, and it's from a 3.0 engine, which is one of the V6 variants. We had a 3.4, and I assumed that the 3.4 would go in no problem. Well, this little guy, this slave cylinder, interferes with everything. So my buddy Stash, so first of all, I ordered a completely different crossover on eBay. Turned out we couldn't use it. We got it in there, found out it completely interfered with the frame. So what we ended up having to do is custom build the original crossover that we had from the swap so that it would fit on the side that we were already on, which helped us because now the rest of the exhaust doesn't have to be modified. Just from half of the exhaust has to be modified. So it's not as bad, but that has been the big thing. So thankful to Stash here at Vision Builds for being able to fabricate that and put that together. I've been able to do as much as I can here, dropping the transmission, dropping the stuff, cleaning old mounts off, stuff like that. But when it comes to the fabrication aspect of stuff, that's when I turn it over to Stash. Let him do his thing, get this thing back on the road. We've been here now. This is going to end up being a 2-week project. A lot of that is because of waiting for parts, not knowing what you need until you get into the middle of the build, and then finding out, oops, we need this, we need that. And a lot of those are specialty parts that take a little bit of time. So really appreciate being able to have a shop to work in. It's been so great. Really gives you peace of mind when you know you have somebody there that can help you out. And that's not to negate the fact that so many people in my 5 years of travel have reached out to me and offered their services, their time, a shop to work on the rig. I mean, I can't tell you how many people have. My buddy Patrick elevated for running 2 hours out to fix an electrical problem on the road. Yeah, just crazy stuff that people have have helped along the way. So it really makes this kind of travel possible for me. But yeah, we got to get back at it. I love solving problems, and Litime Battery Company reached out to me to help me solve a problem I was going to have in here. I've been here for almost a week now, and I will probably be here for another week. Because I live out of my rig full time, that means I've got to have power and everything in my rig to run everything. And when you're inside a shop, when you're on nothing but solar, it doesn't work. So got this guy for them to provide for me, and I'm super stoked. I've been wanting to get one of these. It just, for such emergencies as this, box in a box. You see? This is a lithium ion battery charger. If you know anything about lithium ion batteries, you know that if you ever deplete your batteries completely, it takes a very special charger in order to bring those things back up to snuff. So we've got the charger itself, which is nice, got Anderson connectors on it, or something like an Anderson connector. And it has the reciprocal. This will stay on the battery constantly, and then when I need to use it, these just plug into one another. Boom. Nice tight connection, no problems. And then it comes with your standard 12 volt that I can charge into the power here at the shop. This is also going to be really good if I ever get in a situation, which I've been in before, where I had like 5 or 6 days of really no sun, just nothing but bad weather. And a guy who was camping near me volunteered to let me use his generator to charge up my batteries, which I could not do because I did not have anything that I could plug into his generator with. Now we have that. So I'm looking forward to getting this thing going so that I can get this thing charged back up and keep working on my 5-speed swap. But bottom line is, you plug it into 12 volts, or you plug it into 120, and then it charges your 14 volt lithium ion batteries. It's exactly what I needed. So thank you guys, Litime Battery, for reaching out to me and solving this issue that I have. Well, it looks like it is getting to be that time. We finally got our stuff in. Look what we got. LC Engineering, dual comp clutch disc, and heavyweight 38 pound flywheel. All getting ready to go in for the 5-speed swap. Yeah. This thing's a beast. This thing weighs 38 pounds by itself. There we go. There's the big heavy flywheel. Next is going on the clutch and the clutch disc. Flywheel side. They sent the wrong bolts. Good morning. So, unfortunately, our 5-speed is still not under the Sunroamer. LC Engineering sent the wrong flywheel bolts, or not flywheel bolts, but the clutch disc plate bolts, and they're sending new ones, but unfortunately they're not going to be here for 7 days. So my goal today, my thought process is I'm going to go ahead and install the transmission as is, to mock it. We still have quite a few things because we still need to redo the brackets that go to the frame for the cross member. And once we get the cross member in, then we can continue to complete and modify the exhaust that, as you see, is not completed yet, but we need that in there. The other thing is, I mean, I can do some interior stuff too, where the shifters come through and all that, have that completely done. Lock it in. Come on, dude. Don't you move. You're going in. Don't you move back. Don't you do it. Oh, look at that. Pull it in. Very nice. Put it on the other side. Got the transmission back up underneath here. Again, unfortunately, this is just mock-up. And we're getting the cross member in, and we had to remove all the old brackets that I had on here. So Stash is over here. He's getting those brackets all taken care of over there. And we're gonna get those welded in over here so that we have the cross member all set and ready to go. The next thing I need to do tonight or tomorrow is I need to put the rear drive shaft on and see what our distance is going to be like. Hopefully we've got enough to get us back to Arizona. So I just had to do a little fab job in here. You can see this one here is now bent, so I cut it, re-welded it so that I can get all my gears and still not hit. So this morning, Stash just put these new brackets in for the cross member, so we can get this dialed in. And now he's gonna take a look at the exhaust now that we have the cross member in there, so we can get an accurate fit on that. And that'll put all that together. And again, we're still waiting for parts. This is all just mock-up, and it'll have to come back out to get the final parts in. On a side note, so Stash is actually taking all of my old exhaust pieces and repurposing them. This is not necessarily the way that he would be building an exhaust for somebody. You'd normally have all of your pieces and be able to cut, you know, your different pieces based on the bends that are always in the kits and such. So just a side note on that. So this is going to be interesting. We're going to see if we get a start, because there is a question of the wiring of whether it's going to allow the truck to start or not. So here goes nothing. It's so weird not having any controls in here to say, well, make sure it's in park or something. This is a little nervous. Well, that works. That works. That works. Let's turn all that off. All those electrical things are on. That's the Bendex. That means it's starting. Yeah! That was a nerve-wracking moment. Well, guys, we are at the final few stages. We got everything bolted in, got the radiator. Had to put the radiator in twice because the little petcock seal was leaking. So I had to drain it all and redo it, which was not a lot of fun. Those things happen, but no more leaks. We got everything dialed in here. The last thing we're doing is we're getting our fluids all done up. I've already filled the 5-speed, and right now down below I'm filling the T-case. we'll get this all sealed. Trying to keep this because this isn't factory. I actually, you can see the marks here. I actually welded and grafted this in here from the automatic. So I had to create some new holes for the manual unit. I could not cut the one off of the one I picked up because he was going to use that body for something else. Yeah, so we had to do that. But man, getting excited and very nervous because it's always nervous when you do something like this. Is everything going to work? We still don't know. I've had mixed reviews. I follow a forum called 5VZ Everything, I think is what it's called, on Facebook. Great. If you're doing this kind of swap, these are the guys to get your information from. I have reached out to them numerous times on certain aspects, and they have been very helpful. So I try to input my information there also to be helpful if I can. Yeah, what I was saying is that there are some people that say it will work fine with the automatic computer. That you just fool it and you get CEL lights, which are warning lights. You know, I can turn those off. That's not a big deal. And I'm not in a smog area. If you were in California or something like that, this would not work and you would have to spend about another, I'm saying about $1,000 for an ORS proper harness system so that it could pass smog. But I don't have to worry about that. So that's a plus. Stash got the exhaust all dialed in. You can see here, made some bends. It actually fits better here than it did before because I had to ground an area there to keep it from hitting. It's nice and sturdy. Put another one of these on the other side. But yeah, everything is getting dialed. Like I said, we're getting fluid in here and we are getting ready to start it up. Sure hope everything works.